Fuel subsidy. Nigeria Labour Congress knocks Tinubu for shunning dialogue, taking decisions like Mancho Man. Fuel subsidy. Nigerian Labour Congress knocks Tinubu for shunning dialogue, taking decisions like Mancho Man. Our sovereignty is at stake. Protesters picket EU office in Abuja over election report. Our sovereignty is at stake. Protesters picket EU office in Abuja over election report. Speaker Abbas steps down recommendation seeking to release Nnamdi Kanu. Speaker Abbas steps down recommendation seeking to release Nnamdi Kanu. It interests me today to welcome you all to this wonderful channel. Remember, this is Imokobi TV, the hottest TV of the moment. We bring you latest updates happening in and around the country. And if this is your first time viewing our channel for the first time, do not forget to subscribe. Turn on the notification button to keep you updated whenever we drop our videos. Be sure to like, share the video to your friends and your family members, and of course, do not forget to comment as well. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know your take on this video, and that can only be done when you drop your comment at the comment section. Alright, my people, we move towards doing what we know how to do best. On our screen today are three wonderful headlines, and the first one, fuel subsidy. Nigerian Labour Congress knocks Tinubu for shunning dialogue, taking decisions like Mancho Man. The news in detail. According to NLC, impoverishing workers and pushing millions more into hellish living does not in any way approximate sound economic management. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has said the recent hike in the pump price of premium motor spirit (PMS), commonly known as petrol, and other perceived anti-poor policies were weapons of war against Nigeria workers and masses. According to NLC, impoverishing workers and pushing millions more into hellish living does not in any way approximate sound economic management. Vanguard reports that in an address at the opening ceremony of a 4-day program for leaders of the state councils of NLC in Lagos, President of NLC, Joe Ajero, said from all intents and purposes, the Nigerian state had declared war on the working people and the masses of Nigeria. Represented by the Deputy President of Congress and President General of Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria (MUWN), Prince Adewale Adeyanju. In the program supported by the American Solidarity Center, Ajero noted that trade union leaders must not abandon the Nigerian people and workers to their fate. The NLC president said labor leaders across the country must all join hands in the struggle for the articulation and protection of the rights of Nigerian workers and people, with all hope that one day workers of Nigeria will reclaim their natural rights and have been forcefully abridged and trampled upon by uninformed employers and those in government who ought to have been in the vanguard of guaranteeing such rights. Various governments in Nigeria have mercilessly trampled upon the rights of Nigerians without any feeling of remorse. Politicians have ganged up against the workers and the masses without any consequences. It is important to note that governance in Nigeria is always spoken about in paradoxical dimensions. Governments are rooted in the lives of the people and thus ought to pursue service to them, but in our nation, governance has become an instrument for inflicting pains and suffering on workers and the masses. Recently, we are all witnessed the steep, heartless hike in the price of PMS by the federal government under the guise of the so-called petroleum subsidy withdrawal, without making alternative arrangements to cushion the expected and well-known impacts of such unconscionable action. This policy direction ought to have been the product of dialogue among stakeholders, but was shunned by a democratically elected government which rather believes in machoism that has since left the economy reeling. That clearly shows that the Nigerian state from all corners is clearly at war with the people and workers. They have mounted pressure on the people to all fronts and have robbed the people repeatedly, even when the people have turned today. Even when the people have turned the other the other cheek, refusing to acknowledge that governance must go hand in hand with social justice if it is to have any meaning. This onslaught, comrades, is not relenting and would continue if nothing is done to mediate it immediately. It has become exigent that we forcefully bring to the knowledge of our various leaders that rendering many more millions of Nigerians poor could not be an option for punishment. Moreover, impoverishing workers and pushing millions more into hellish living does not in any way approximate sound economic management. Nigerian workers and masses cannot continue bearing the brunt of ill-conceived policies and outright fantasies of our leaders. The continued sacrifice of poor Nigerian workers so that the rich can continue in their unbridled pressures is beginning to push events to the edge. A nation with a huge number of poor people and an increasing number of the working poor is akin to mega trouble. Growth without commensurate benefits to the people is meaningless. Nigerians, workers, and comrades can put a stop to this. The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) can hurt this manifest mischief. As trade union leaders, we must not abandon the people and workers to their fate. We must not leave anything to change, and we must not sit by and watch this rape continue unabated. Among the heart-wrenching and serial atrocities of current employers, both in the public and private sectors against Nigerian workers, is the continued prevalence of abuses of the rights and privileges of the workforce in the various shop floors which have gone unchallenged. Acts of impunity by lawless employers without recourse to our extant labor laws have all contributed to abridging the rights of our fellow workers in our various workshops. Alright, that is all the news for us. Wow, the NLC, that is the Nigerian Labour Congress, are really complaining. According to them, that the hike in the pump price of fuel is becoming so much. It is now a punishment to Nigerian workers and masses. According to NLC, it does not make sense. It only makes sending these people to hell. And in Nigeria, the poor people are much, why the rich are just few. They said, but for us to stop all this, we must put hands together. We must all join hands in the struggle for the articulation and protection of the rights of Nigerian workers and people. Wow. They cried out bitterly that in a normal country, but saying that the government supposed to help, that the government's duties are to make sure that they provide for the citizen, because governments are for the people, by the people, and for the people, right? Anyhow, I shall talk amuna sabi waiting they talk there. So he said, they said according to them that the duty of every government is to make sure they serve their citizens very well. But for Nigeria, for the country where we did so, no be like that. Waiting they take no Nigeria now. So they inflict pains and suffering on workers and the masses. I wonder, my people, now let's think about this. You see, minimum wage they pay minimum wage of 33,000, some 20,000, some 30,000. Now the thing, I think 30,000, yes, that's the minimum wage, 30k, right? I don't know. I'm not a government worker and I can never be. They pay this kind of amounts to government workers, and yet they increased the fuel price, stating that they remove fuel subsidy. Wow. Now you increase the fuel price, and already know that foodstuffs have become expensive. Yes, because whatsoever that rise in Nigeria, now my country be this, it can never come down. You know they possible. It will continue to the rise. They go just like a bag. Now they increase the fuel price, and they forget to also increase the salary. Now, how do the government want this citizen to cope? Now, what should they do? Now, if they go ahead and steal, they say they have stolen, and they'll catch and burn. Sure, we know Nigeria. Yes, they'll catch and burn them sharp, sharp. And now, how do you want them to stop stealing when you do not provide? Like, they work hard and earn peanuts as salary. No, now. Most of these people have family to fend for. So I beg Buhari, Tinubu, I mean to say, you really know these things. Sir, you know all this is with due respect. It would be so unwise, but I think I'm speaking the mind of the public because it would be so unwise that your masses are suffering while you are enjoying. The mind and the duty of every leader is to make sure that the people they are leading is at peace, that the people they are leading, that they are doing well. In fact, leadership is not staying in authority. It means serving the people. Definitely, that's the meaning of leadership. You are to serve. You are there to serve. You have been called to serve. Therefore, you do not deal with them with your services. You do not make them feel bad because now Nigeria put you there. So make you not try to they make them feel bad. That which they want, help them do it because if you're increasing the price of fuel, definitely you should also increase their salary because you will not let these politicians. Just imagine politicians taking 20 million wardrobe salary, wardrobe blah blah blah, 20 million as salary and that, and then look at what are they even doing? Let me be the question, my people. What are they doing that civil servants are not doing? Now the civil servants they will kill themselves in local government and all the rest of these things. Kill themselves there. Kill themselves. They will come to work every morning, raining or not. They must be there. And at the end, they'll collect peanuts. They want me show. In fact, make una point about 50 civil servants with a drive car, like with a drive better car with these politicians they drive. This is not fair. I think this is a call for Nigerian government to put an end to this menace. This is not fair at all. I beg. MNLC don dey beg Labour Congress dey beg. I beg Bola Ahmed Tinubu, do not do this. Don't do this. Make sure you make amend. Make sure say you increase our salary. Make sure say you stop all of this because we no be mumu. You no go increase fuel price. You no go increase fuel price and yet our salary dey as in dey. Mbano, bamboo no go dey work, monkey no go dey work, bamboo go dey chop. No now, ina no dey cheat us because you come to serve us, no do us this kind thing. Now waiting NLC they talk like this. All right, my people. If you like say we go move to the second one, we no go dwell here because time don't go. And the second on our screen, our sovereignty is at stake. Protesters picket EU office in Abuja over election report. Our sovereignty is at stake. Protesters picket EU office in Abuja over election report. The news in details. Members of the coalition of civil society organization and political parties from Good Governance CCSOPPGG on Thursday besieged the office of the European Union EU in Abuja over the report on the last general election. The EU had faulted the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) for the operational challenges and glitches experienced with the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) and the result viewing portal. The EU's monitoring team said the discrepancies in the election severely damaged public confidence in the electoral body. Addressing some EU officials during the demonstration, Lillian Ogbole, CCSOPPGG leader, said, though elections are not perfect anywhere in the world, the election that produced President Bola Tinubu was transparent. Ogbulo said the EU report could trigger chaos, adding that the country's sovereignty and security are at stake. We were taken aback when the report came. The media was awash with the report of the EU, carefully and specifically saying that the election was fraudulent and that the election fell short of requirement of every credible election in the world, he said. I don't know where that one is coming from. If it is the election that we were all part of, that we all fought vigorously with our lives and everything we have as patriots and well-meaning Nigerians to ensure that the election was held. If it is the same election that the EU spoke about, then it means that something is fishy somewhere. You would also agree with me that the report of the EU is enough to trigger a national problem, is enough to trigger a national chaos. Our security is at stake. Our sovereignty is at stake. Our unity is at stake. All right. This is coming from Ogbole, Lillian Ogbole, who is the leader of the CCSOPPGG OPPGG. Wow, which is the coalition of civil society organization and political parties for good governance. They went to Abuja. They went for their protest in Abuja, stating that the report EU gave, that they will not accept it though, because Nigeria is already in a chaos situation. That Nigeria is already facing a lot of challenges. Say if they accept this if they accept this result, na im be say Nigeria, na im be say their sovereignty dey at stake. Na im still be say their unity dey at stake. Na im still be say their security still dey at stake. Now in the country right say, but if it is this election we know about, say as far as we are, as far as this election is concerned, it was transparent enough. That President Bola Ahmed Tinubu election, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidential election was transparent enough. Seba, they no do any como, they no do anything at all. Say na God put Bola Ahmed Tinubu for that seat. Say Bola Ahmed Tinubu deserve him. Say the election was fought for. My question can be, my people, is this the truth? Is there not something fishy about this or matter? Because looking at this thing by at first we were looking at it that it was Peter Obi that won the election. And then all of a sudden news came and said it was no longer Peter Obi, it was Bola Ahmed Tinubu. While even on the day of the election, if you were on the news that day, you realize that most of the states in Nigeria, LP, Labour Party, which is which the presidential candidate is Peter Obi, he was always stopping. He was stopping almost all the states in Nigeria, and even the Federal Capital Territory, that is Abuja, he got the highest number of votes. So according to constitution, right, anybody that has the highest number of votes in the federal capital of the state is eligible to be the president. Now the question is, in all these things, in all these results that we were even seeing for ourselves during the election, how come it was Bola Ahmed Tinubu who never even had the highest number of votes in Abuja? How come he became the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? There must be something about this that has been done behind the scene that the government are not telling us. Yes, because looking at this, what was it even called? What the CCSOPPGG are after is their own security. Yes, because if you look at it, but in fact, the thing is that Peter Obi self, unlike other people who would fight for their rights with all that there is. Yes, because I believe if it was Peter Obi that won this election, there will be no peace. Or if it is Atiku that won this election, in fact, bloodshed it could have been now. So in fact, I don't think there will be anything like bloodshed, because Peter Obi already is a man of the law, he's a man of principle. So he likes moving with law, he likes doing things with law, not violence. So definitely it's going to be done calm. But them coming here to say that their sovereignty is at stake is what we don't understand. My people, I want to know your take on this. Is the sovereignty of the people really at stake? Is the unity of the people really at stake? Is the security of the people really at stake? Because when the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? Yes. At the onset, the news we had was it was Peter Obi. Then all of a sudden, from nowhere, we had it has become Bola Ahmed Tinubu. How? For what? Is it for a bar? So we need to understand this very well. So I would like us to drop our comment at the comment section on this matter. What is your take on this? What do you think went wrong in this 2023 just concluded election? That is the question. And please do not forget, this is Imokobi TV. Drop your comments on each of the headlines that best interest you, or if the three interest you, then do well to drop your comments. And on our screen, the third headline: Speaker Abbas steps down recommendation seeking to release Nnamdi Kanu. Speaker Abbas steps down recommendation seeking to release Nnamdi Kanu. the news in detail. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, on Thursday stepped down an amended motion seeking to release Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra (IPOB). This followed a recommendation by Ginger Onwusibe, LP Abia, following a motion by Eze Nwachukwu Eze, PDP Ebonyi in Abuja during plenary. Mr. Eze had moved a motion titled "Need to forestall further to for to forestall further killings in the Ebonyi local government area and the rising insecurity in Ebonyi/Oha Ukwu Federal Constituency, Ebonyi State." But Mr. Onwusibe, representing Ishialangwa north of Abia State, had asked the House to amend the motion to ensure the release of Mr. Kanu so as to end the disturbing cases of killings in the southeastern part of the country. It will be recalled that Mr. Kanu had been in the custody of the State Security Service (SSS) in spite of a ruling by the court to release the IPOB leader. In his motion, Mr. Eze urged the President Bola Tinubu-led administration to consult with political, traditional and religious leaders in Ebonyi State and the Southeast. This, according to him, is to find a lasting solution to the insecurity in the Southeast. He urged the Acting Inspector General of Police to mobilize armored personnel carriers to strategic points across Ebonyi State to forestall future attacks. He further urged the Nigeria Police Force and other relevant security agencies to ensure effective policing of Ebonyi/Ohuku Federal Constituency of Ebonyi, other states of the Southeast and the entire country. He also urged the Nigerian Police Force to engage in training the vigilante group for intelligence and gathering an effective community policing. He asked that the House mandate the Committee on Police Affairs, when constituted, to make budgetary provisions for the Nigerian Police Force to acquire more combat helicopters. This, according to him, is to ensure proper surveillance of the Southeast states and Nigeria in general. However, an amendment to the motion to include the release of Nnamdi Kanu was rejected and deferred by the Speaker, who said the subject matter should not come under the notion on Ebonyi killings. But Mr. Onwusibe said the insecurity was a result of the prolonged detention of Mr. Kanu, adding that the government should consider a way of releasing him so as to restore peace to the region. However, Ibrahim Halims, the deputy leader of the House, rejected the amendment, saying matters like that are always determined by the court and not by parliamentary decision. In Benjamin Kalu, the deputy speaker of the House of Reps, Mr. Onwusibe was to find an amicable way of resolving the issue with regards to what the prayer of the amendment should read was to urge Mr. President to use political research to find a lasting solution to this issue. According to him, those of us from the region know where the shoe is pinching us. In his ruling, Mr. Abbas said, "This is a topical issue. My ruling on this is that I will defer ruling on this at this particular time, and I will invite both the minority and majority leaders." This, according to him, is to consult and see what the point of the laws says before I make my own position known. So while I rule on other motions and amendments that have been proposed, that particular one is suspended for ruling next week after due consultation. Alright, my people, the whole of this English like this na for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Yes. What is his name? Onwusibe. Mr. Onwusibe. Talk say that the insecurity we are having in Ebonyi State and Aba and every part of the eastern region is as a result of the detention of Nnamdi Kanu. Therefore, he is urging that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, should do well to release Nnamdi Kanu to stop the killing, to stop what is happening in the southeast. But On that, the speaker, the House of Rep, Otajuddin Abbas, refused. He said, no, say, no, make you not talk like this. And now the court go decide this matter. Make you not talk like this. But the fact here, the question here is the is the detention of Nnamdi Kanu really the cause of this terrorism? I mean, is the detention of Nnamdi Kanu the cause of these killings, the cause of this death, this chaos in this country, in this part of the East, in the part of the East? Is Nnamdi Kanu's detention a reason for such chaos? That's the question. All right, my people, I think we are going to call it a day here. We'll not go too far. Remember, on our screen we have three headlines: fuel subsidy, Nigeria Labour Congress knocks Tinubu for shunning dialogue, taking actions like a mancho man. Tinubu, make you stop this thing where you do. Remember, say una duty not to protect us, but see what una they do. Una they harm us. Una they bring us down because say we be poor people. This is the country where the common men are not recognized, where the hope of the common man is subjected to what the leaders has to say. And the last, and this one, our sovereignty is at stake. Protesters picket EU office in Abuja over election report. No EU, make you no talk wetin you talk. Oh, Bola Ahmed Tinubu election dey transparent. Abi, you know wetin you talk? You wan put us for problem? You know say this thing wey you talk about, e go make us, e go make our sovereignty dey at stake. E make our unity dey at stake. In fact, even our security dey at stake. And the final one on our screen, Speaker Abbas steps down recommendation seeking to release Nnamdi Kanu. Do not release Nnamdi Kanu now until we gather the minority and majority group to take decision on the next action. Alright, my people, this is Imokobi TV. Remember, if you are yet to subscribe, please do well so that you would not be left out when we drop our videos. Drop your comment at the comment section. It is very important that we hear from you. Remember to like our videos and, of course, share to your friends and your family members. Do be safe. Imokobi TV loves you so much, and we thank you for your time.